joke, I've been a money maker. I've been a record breaker, taking credit as an educator. I've been known to spit the flows and make it shaky, shaky thing. Poppin', lockin', stoppin', let it hang. Watch us as we drop this hip hop, it's like it stings. We make the whole room drop and everybody sing. We want the funk. We gotta have that funk. We kick it old school, we think we're so cool. We take it back to the past, we gonna act a fool. Up jumps the middle finger, make my...
Hello, and welcome to Sports Buzz, the Fanatical View. I am your host, Scott D. Lewis, here live in studio, Comcast Cable, Channel 23, downtown Danbury, Connecticut, on this May 9th. Yes, early on in the month of May, the weather actually cold today for some reason. We've had some warmer temperatures recently, a lot of rain.
Yeah.
So much for that report I read about a week and a half ago that said May was going to be dry and warm. It's been a little warm, but certainly wet.
It was wet on Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, it rained a lot this weekend. Hasn't been that great as far as that goes. Hashtag spring is overrated. That's the way it is these days. But we are here in studio, and we are happy to be back. We skipped out last week. But we are back and ready to go. 6:30 to 7, fastest TV talk sports show in all the land. So if you're looking to call in, go ahead and do it. 203-792-4101 is that number. We will take your calls. But right now, we will take a little hello from my right-hand man there, Mr. Bob Broad Jr.
Hi, Scott.
How's it going, Bob? A lot of things going on around town that you've been keeping track of lately.
Oh yeah, we've been very busy the last couple days.
You broke the news here that the Uncle Sam statue was coming, and they got that up in downtown yesterday, right?
Yesterday, yep.
They still got to get it all completely set there.
Yeah, you still got to get a new hand put on and a few other...
Eventually, they'll have an actual grand unveiling.
Yeah,
correct?
what I've heard the last couple of days, I guess 4th of July they're really pushing.
That would be a good time.
Be the best day probably for him, you know.
The space down there...
It's kind of confined.
Yes, it's going to be interesting as far as having an event right there.
And the other bad part, too, is now you're driving down Patriot Drive, and all of a sudden you see a 38-foot Uncle Sam. You're going to be looking, oh.
We'll have to keep track of the accident rate over there.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I might be working a lot more fire police, blocking the road after a major crack up,
Yeah. So you checked out the press conference for the grand unveiling and the unveiling of the name of the new Danbury FHL hockey team, and
yes.
It is?
It's the Danbury
Hat Tricks.
Hat Tricks, yes. But the thing is, though,
I don't know if I like it. The Hatters.
The Hatters, yes, because they said because
Danbury Hat City.
The Hat Factory was on the
Hat
site
City.
Originally on that site many years ago. Mm-hmm. But he also has they said there's going to be different shots of that, and he's also supposedly has a chipped tooth, the rabbit.
Oh, it's a rabbit?
It's a rabbit.
What? How do you get a rabbit?
Because it's it's a hat, and then of course any night.
Mad Hatter?
Yeah, a hatter.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to make the Mad Hatter from like we had the Mad Hatter many years ago.
Yeah.
When we had it, and so they're trying to make like different thing from.
Right.
From Alice in Wonderland, and then...
Yep. So we also got the Westerners Breakfast coming up. The schedule's here.
Yes.
We got it. June and July, 2 months of baseball. As our director tries to make sure I remember that he's here and mention his name as he blows up the show. How's it going in there, David? I didn't mention your name. We're doing a long-winded open here with Bob.
Yeah,
Bob Show Spotlight on Tuesday nights at 9, Wednesdays at 12. Our director, El Diablo, Darkness, David Suero, and Tyler showed up just in the nick of time running audio. But Westerners Breakfast coming up in just under a month, I guess.
Just under a month.
And that should be a good event. Mickey Rivers telling stories from the past. taking your questions as well.
Yep.
So that should be good also.
Quickly on just a few things. At least the schedule this year, we have all the dates, and we have every night is all finally in print.
Oh, the whole thing.
So
Friday,
for
June
just
7th
just
is
quick
that. You see
example,
that at the Amber Room.
June 13th is
Oh, they
First
do. They got all the
Responders Night.
promotional events listed.
Yes.
Bark in the Park. Bring
Park
your
in the
dog.
Park, yes.
Nice.
We have Salute to the Senior Night.
Baseball Beach Blanket Bingo.
Yes.
Trading Card Night. Banner Night. 80s Night.
Yes.
Oh, Gil Black and Youth
Gil
Baseball
Black's
Night.
getting a special night.
Yeah. Military Appreciation, Star Wars, and NASA
Yes,
combined
50
into
years
one.
of the 50 years of the moon landing.
R.I.P. Chewbacca. Host Family Night, Players Night, Harry Potter Night.
Harry Potter
Christmas
Night.
in July. You've been doing that a couple times recently.
Yep.
last
We have
couple
the
years.
Snyder Night, Jimmy Fun Night,
Baby Shark Night.
Baby Shark Night.
What is that?
Because of you've heard Baby Shark on the radio and on
I have not
on
heard it. I don't know
YouTube.
any of that.
It's for the kids.
Snyder Night, Jimmy Fun Night, and Fan Appreciation Night. So lots of events.
And then we have on the doubleheader night, during that day we have a
25th
free
season,
baseball
by the
clinic.
way. What's that?
June 29th, we have a free baseball clinic in the morning from 9 to 12.
Okay.
Former major leaguers.
And it is the 25th anniversary. We're going to have to start breaking out the old shirts
Yes.
of the previous 20-year commemorative. And
Yeah.
we got a bunch of those shirts. All right, let's get into some major sporting events that have been going on. I tell you, Bob, this time of year, it's just like
I know
stuff
everything
every
goes
week.
and comes in one big.
Lots going on. Kentucky Derby this past Sunday, the day after Cinco de Mayo, and a big fight actually
Yes.
on Saturday night as well. Canelo Alvarez with the win. Derby, so Maximum Security won it, but hold all bets.
Yes, because we had to go to a photo.
We had to go to the video review and determine if he committed a foul, and ultimately would he be disqualified, and he was. First time ever at the
Yes.
Derby that this
Yes.
has happened. Now the racing people all say if this was just a regular Tuesday afternoon,
Right, it
he
wouldn't
would have
have-
been
nobody would have
disqualified in
any-
2 minutes
Right.
instead
But
of
since you
22
have-
minutes.
The Derby is like one of the.
Like I thought it
think-
was a harsh foul call on him, considering the. And all right, we're gonna have to put our Kentucky Derby thoughts on hold because I do believe Strange Man
That's
is
a strange
calling in.
one to
The phone's
come in.
ringing at least, so we'll see. Hello, this is Sports Buzz. You are live on the air.
Sports Buzz, how are you? This is Strange Man.
I'm pretty good, Strange Man. Nice to hear from you. Been a while.
Yeah. He's not in the
The,
ledge.
the Bruins must be doing well. Strange Man's off the ledge.
Yeah.
Not so much with the Celtics. What's going on, Strange Man? What do you got for us? We have a lot to cover, so let's get to it.
Yeah, I know. So anyway, I wanted to bring up a couple things. The Boston Red Sox last night, Jackie Bradley Jr. made that
Yes.
tremendous catch.
I think we got a photo of that, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, saved the game. And now the Red Sox are at
the Boston Red Sox.
19-19, finally got to 500. Chris Sale, masterful performance by
14
Chris Sale.
strikeouts by
Unbelievable.
Sale.
I think he pitched
Yeah.
8 innings, 3 hits, only 1 earned runs.
Didn't get the win, though.
Pitches total.
Yeah, because they had to go extras. It was 1-1 late. He didn't get the win. But they did climb Mount 100 and have arrived at 500 as they head back home after their stop. Did they stop at the White House today on their off day?
I believe
Yeah,
so.
today they're at the White House, and a few members didn't go, so.
All right, I'm just gonna. I know Strange Man and I have been having a little back and forth about the White House. My problem with the coverage of this is the fact that this has been going on the entire presidency for Donald Trump, and all of a sudden, the media is all over the Red Sox and trying to create this division in the locker room and making this a big deal. All the teams have been skipping out, multiple players for every team. So why it's an issue with the Red Sox, I don't know. There's no issue in the locker room at all. All the
Right.
guys understand the deal. And it's a choice, and guys know that there's not a normal president in the White House. It's not a normal circumstance, and a lot of people have been skipping out with valid reason, especially if you're Alex Cora, a Puerto Rican native. And what Donald Trump did in response to that hurricane was reprehensible. So
I do want to say they did give him a lot of money, you know. And like we talked before.
Look, we're not going to go into it deep, Strange Man. We're not going to have it back and forth. This is my show. So we're not going to we're not going back and forth on that.
But listen, getting back to the game, Andrew Benintendi hit the game-winning home run in the 12th.
Yes, he did.
So it was a great game. I think actually that catch by Jackie Bradley Jr., did they have the bases loaded for that catch?
I know it would have been a walk-off, so there had to be guys on because they were down 1. So there was guys on. I don't know how many were on, but I know.
Okay. All right. So anyway, the second one is, you know, I'm really kind of down because the Celtics fell to the Bucks.
No surprise. If you were watching them all year, you knew they were terrible.
You know, and I was really depressed because Queen James, your favorite player, he left the East. And so I says, you know, the Celtics are in, they got a good chance. What do you think?
Well, yeah, I mean, that was the whole thing. After last year, they make the run to the Eastern Conference Finals without Hayward and without Kyrie. It was the young guys. They looked great, and everybody thinks, okay, now Kyrie's going to be back healthy. Hayward will be back healthy. Paul James leaves for La La Land, where he's not even playing at all, and the Lakers are a fake show. And you think that opens the door. And they were the favorite coming into the season, but nobody really paid attention to the fact that other teams in the division improved, made moves, and were better as well. And the Celtics didn't have the chemistry all year, and it showed in this second round against the Bucks, who, by the way, were the best team in the NBA all season long, have the best record, start to finish, basically. They were the top team in the league. Giannis Antetokounmpo is the Greek freak, and he was tremendous in the season, but overall, they just had more chemistry and a deeper, well-balanced team. Our guys knew their role.
They played really good. I got to admit, you know, you look at the records, they played terrific. Okay, now listen. The thing is, you know, I'm happy. I'm not on the ledge now, Scotty. The Bruins play later on tonight in the conference final.
Yeah, game 1 against the Hurricanes, former Whalers.
Yeah. And then, okay, now listen. This is kind of sad. Got a couple losses here. Okay, now listen, the former Boston College and Celtics public address person, Andy Jick, that's with a J-I-C-K.
Okay.
He's now at 66.
Mm-hmm.
And then our Boston Red Sox double-A manager, Joe Oliver, his dad passed on. So, you know, through the show, hopefully well wishes to the family. With condolences. And then, a personal note, a lady, great lady, my neighbor, she was a big fan of the show.
Oh.
And she passed away at 94 a couple of days ago.
94 is a good
wife. Margaret, we call her Peggy DeWitt, and she was a big fan of the show. When I moved in here, she said, if there's anything I can do, let me know. And when my airbed blew up, she came to my aid and offered me hers.
Well, our condolences to her and to you for that loss.
On a farm, she was only 2 pounds when she was born, and they had to put her in an oven to keep her warm, but she survived. And everybody joked her for her whole life. There was a joke that after she was born, they baked her in the oven. So anyway,
you had to do things differently back then.
And she'll be sorely missed. Anyway, listen, the last thing I want to leave on a positive note. I know you gave me a couple times a ride in your sports car that goes from like 0 to 70 in 50 seconds. So there is this guy, you can go on the and look it up. His name was Jarrett Stiff. I'm not kidding you, Scott. His name is Jarrett
Do we know it?
And he stiffed the state of Pennsylvania for years on tolls. He finally got caught.
Is he slough law or whatever they call that?
Yeah, so anyway, we'll see, you know, maybe if we get tolls in Connecticut, I don't know if we will, but maybe people
The Strange Man stat of the week goes to the tolls.
All right, so,
all right, Strange Man. Well, thanks for checking in. Go Bruins tonight.
Hey, Bobby, to your wife and yourself, you got a great couple kids there. So
And an
anyway,
anniversary
the
coming
rest
up.
of the cast
Yes,
and
next
crew
week.
And everybody there. And,
All right, Strange Man, we
so-
got 10 million things to get to, and you just went on for an hour. So thanks for
All
calling.
right, Scotty, take care of yourself.
Take care.
And Strange Man over and out for now, God willing.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, speaking of which, yeah, next week.
I should have grabbed the swimsuit issue and
Yeah.
just throw him through that while he went on there. But condolences to his neighbor,
Yes.
a fan of the show. 94 is certainly a good run, and
Yes.
we appreciate her being a fan of this show. So the Derby, the thing I didn't like about it is the over-exaggeration of this foul that took
Right.
place. You know, these guys are like, the horse went from lane 2 to lane 5.
Right.
Which did not happen at all. He
No,
slipped over into
because
the third
when,
lane.
Well, if you watch a horse
He
race,
was out in front.
you know, you're moving from one end to the other, and then if you get along the rail, you're trying to get as much
Especially
momentum
with the
as you
slop.
can.
He comes around the turn, the crowd goes nuts, he gets a little jumpy, the jockey kept him in place, and all these guys are talking about, you know, if there could have been a catastrophe, This horse has no idea of these rules.
No.
So enforcing the rule to prevent a catastrophe is
It's up to the jockey. It's not up to the horse.
jockey
The horse has
did
nothing
the job,
to do with it.
got him back in, and went on to win the race. I thought it was a lousy
It was
decision.
it was muddy race because of all the rain and
Big downpour 15 minutes before the race. It had been raining all week.
yeah.
But so Maximum Security loses, Country Home, the longest of long shots, 60+ to 1 odds.
But now, you're doubtful there would be a Triple Crown because
No,
that
no chance
was
of
something
that.
like that.
Not a chance. All right, we got to jump off that because we got sidetracked there. Champions League, also big events that took place this week. I'll tell you, these games are just outrageous. Liverpool, Barcelona, and it was bad times for Barcelona. Again, Liverpool has had the best of this history with these two teams. Here we see a great classic old shot. But Barcelona felt great last week when they won 3-0 at Camp Nou in Barcelona. Their fans certainly felt like it was definitely this year after the debacle last year where they blew a 4-1 aggregate goal lead against Roma, a team that's not really supposed to be able to come back, and they did last year. So this year they took that 3-0 lead heading to Liverpool, and it was the Merseyside Miracle in Anfield as Liverpool, with their top player
Yes.
out and two other players, one was out before the game, one went down in the first half, went down. The reserves in, they beat them 4-0, and they turned them into schoolboys on the final clinching goal.
Yeah, I
as
watched
they did that
the
quick
second
kick
half of the game was
on the corner kick with about at the 80th minute, and it just made Barcelona look foolish. To add insult to injury, Messi, who did play well, he had 3 great chances in the first half, didn't get it in the net, but I mean, Barcelona played well after giving up the early goal, but at the start of the second half, 2 quick goals to tie it, and then the late goal to lose it. But Messi, how about this, gets pulled aside for a random drug test after the game,
Right.
forces him to miss the bus. He was in tears in the locker room after the loss. He misses the team bus and had to fly back to Barcelona by himself.
That's
and was
bad.
greeted on his own by an
Yeah.
angry mob of fans. For the second year in a row, fans couldn't take the fact that they blew a 3-goal aggregate lead in this, and it was on a platter for them to win it all, because in the other semi, it was Ajax, the Cinderella team from the Netherlands, going up against a depleted Tottenham team. So you had to really think that Barcelona was going to win this thing this year, but they don't. And then Tottenham stuns
He's all
the
set.
feel-good team in Amsterdam, Ajax, with the late, absolutely as late as it gets, 5 minutes of stoppage time. At 4:58 of stoppage time, they score what turns out to be the winner, 3-2, and they win with the away goal tiebreaker in that. So they move on. It's an all-England final,
Yeah.
Liverpool versus Tottenham. Strange Men mentioned the Bruins advancing to the Eastern Conference Finals here. They will take on the Carolina Hurricanes, who swept away the Islanders. Great series. Bruins were down 2-1 against Columbus, and they came back in this series, ended up winning in 6. ironically enough, the last time the Bruins beat a team in a Game 6 to finish it off on the road was when? 1990-91 season against who? The Hartford Whalers.
And then what are we having?
They're playing the old Hartford Whalers who are now the
again.
Carolina Hurricanes. Very interesting stat right there. But the Bruins did come back. It was Tuukka time in Game 6, 3-0 shutout. Tuukka Rask, who Bruins fans have their questions about. We know his stats. We know his winning percentage in the regular season. We've had our concerns in the postseason, but he has been playing tremendous. And the Bruins are getting contributions up and down their lineup. I like their chances here. They have home ice advantage. It's also interesting because the Hurricanes, who in the first round went 7 against the defending champion Capitals, then took on the Islanders, who were resting after sweeping. They took that momentum. They weren't fatigued. They took the momentum and turned it into a sweep of the Islanders. They're going to have to reverse that situation as they swept the Islanders and have been sitting around waiting as the Bruins went 6, not 7, but still had to wait some extra time not playing. So will they lose their momentum after the sweep?
That's a very good, it could very well happen, anything the way, if you have to sit for more than a week, it's.
And what happened to the Islanders after sweeping the Penguins?
I don't know, they just lost. They had no momentum. It just was like they ran out of gas.
So that didn't work out well for them sitting. And also the thing that didn't work out well was not playing out on the island.
Yeah.
Playing in Brooklyn instead.
If they had the whole games out of the island, things might have been different.
I'll tell you this much. Carolina, their arena was raucous.
Oh, yeah.
The crowd there, that was loud coming through the speakers on the TV. And here we got some classic footage of the old Bruins versus Whalers action from 1990-91. Bruins won that series in 6. We will see how many Whalers. I'll be interested to see driving around all over Connecticut if I see some old Whaler flags pop out.
I was at the mall the other day. There's Whaler hats all over the place.
I'm sure. And then in the Western Conference, it's Blues rallying and past the Stars. They were down 3-2 in this series. They win Game 7 at home in double overtime. So St. Louis was part of the second 6. We always hear of the original 6.
Right.
The second wave of expansion, they brought in 6 more teams at that point. It was St. Louis. I think it was 1967. And St. Louis, of all those teams, are the only ones who have not won a Stanley Cup.
Right.
So the Blues looking to get that done. They will take on San Jose Sharknado as the Sharks ousted the Avalanche in Game 7 last night. And they move on. Jumbo Joe Thornton, how about that? Could you imagine Jumbo Joe, the former Bruin, traded, it seems like a lifetime ago, away from the Bruins to San Jose? They might meet in the finals, but we got Eastern and Western Conference finals to get through first before that goes on. All right, Celtics, Strange Man also mentioned this, depressing. I mean, it was in some degree.
It was terrible.
I mean, the thing is, 2 years ago, you got a young team led by Isaiah Thomas. They make the run. Then they get a whole new squad, and 2 years later, we're asking ourselves the same thing. Who's going to be on this team next year?
Right.
Is the dealer going to trade these young chips? Is Kyrie coming back? I don't think so. He was terrible.
Oh, he was awful.
I mean, just ridiculous. And his comments, they asked him about his shooting percentage. It was down. He said, I only took 22 shots. I should have shot 28 because I'm a great player.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just ridiculous with your performance. He doesn't play any defense at all. He'll come down, take a terrible shot, hang his head, and he was missing open shots as well, which was the worst part of it.
He might be sitting in New York somewhere.
He could be. I'd say good luck with that because I saw plenty.
In New York, it could be in New Jersey with Brooklyn.
I much preferred what I saw last year when he was out and the Celtics played as a team. No guts, no glory. It was a layup drill for the Bucks as they walked their way. And Charles Barkley had it correct last night at halftime when he said, this is a scrimmage.
Yeah.
Celtics are going through the motions. Only a couple of guys were giving effort. And the other side, it's Raptors, who were down 2-1, rallying, and they blew out the Sixers in Game 5. They're in Philly tonight, looking to close it out, up 3-2. The Nuggets are playing the Blazers tonight, up 3-2. Here's your stat. Portland has never lost a series when they have been leading 2-1 in that series, but they are now down 3-2. How about that quadruple overtime game in that series?
That was some game.
And the other series, of course, that everybody's all over is the Warriors-Rockets. Warriors won the first 2 games. Rockets came back and won their next 2 at home in Houston. Warriors came back and won Game 5, but Kevin Durant strained his calf in that game. He is out Game 6. They think he's day-to-day, so he'll probably be back for a Game 7 if necessary. But I don't know. This series is tight. It's very tight.
We were talking before the show. How many different people, how many different jerseys do we?
As all these photos go through, all these teams are playing 3-4 different jerseys deep in these playoffs. It's the playoffs, people. Stop with these, practice jerseys, whatever.
Road jersey, whatever it is.
Just play with your regular uniform. 3-4 different jerseys per series. It's crazy. Baseball, your Mets are sliding away a little bit.
Yeah, they're
Bob
going.
swept in
They're going where they usually go.
In Milwaukee, 17-20 now. The offense. I listened to the morning show on the Fan, and it's like those guys are ready to jump off the bridge.
Oh yeah.
They don't think the Mets can hit at all, which maybe they're just slumping right now, but they're not.
Hey, we had a good game with Noah.
And there we see them getting robbed of a home run last night as well. Red Sox saved their game last night. Jackie Bradley Jr., you got robbed in yours.
Oh yeah.
So not great. Braves 18-18, Phillies 21-15. It could be worse. You could be the Nationals.
This is true.
At 14-22, they are really falling apart. Red Sox 19-19. Yankees, the little team that could, Bob.
Yes.
All the injured players these call-ups, all these guys, former Westerners, and they're 21-15 despite getting routed last night 10-1 against the Mariners. They finished that series tonight against the Mariners before heading down to Tampa, who is in first place, 23-13, Tampa. Some other teams, the Cubs have totally turned it around. They were 1-6,
right.
Now 20-13. Astros were 2-5, now 21-15. So that's good. Brewers at 23-16. St. Louis 21-16. Tight races in the Central. Dodgers 24-14. Diamondbacks and Padres right behind them. Twins, despite stinking it up here in New York, 22-12. All right, that's it. We'll be back next week, I do believe, and we will see you then.
Next week it'll be
4th anniversary for Bob. We will celebrate that on the air. All right, take care.